This is the very first time that a lamb is ever mentioned in the Bible. Then you come to Moriah in Genesis 22. This is like the altar of surrender. This is where God tests Abraham by asking him to sacrifice Isaac. This becomes a site of full surrender and a prophetic foreshadowing of Christ, ultimate obedience.
So in verse 8 of Genesis 22, it says, "And Abraham said, 'My son, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering.'" And then I just wrote in my Bible, like it connected to John 1:29, where it says, John says, "Behold the Lamb of God," when he sees Jesus. Because obviously we know in Genesis 22 says that God's going to provide the lamb, but a ram shows up in the moment. The ram comes because Jesus is the lamb who would come in the future.
This is the very first time that a lamb is ever mentioned in the Bible. And it's the very first time that a lamb is mentioned as a sacrifice, or that God would provide a lamb.
Yep.
So it's just like at this place,
very intentional.
He's had the promise, the calling, the fellowship and maturity, and now in surrender, he just utters prophetically, God will provide a lamb. So he didn't even know what he was saying.
Right.
So crazy.
Yeah, but then in verse 18, it says, "In your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed because you have obeyed my voice." And this is just John 3:16, "For God so loved the world," like that he gave his only son. Like that's the promise, that's the seed that all the nations will be blessed.